good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get set for our second race of the season, the fourth season of the NNSCRA Hershey's Cup Series. We are here to cap off what's been a pretty exciting race weekend here at the debuting track of Emerson Fittipaldi Speedway in Rio de Janeiro, and we are getting set here for 40 laps of racing. Our non-charter race was really exciting. Our Pizza Hut X Series race was really exciting. I expect no less here today, with 42 of the best out there on the racetrack. It's 40 laps. We have our stage racing, of course. The stages will be the first 10 laps. Completion of lap 10 will end the first stage. Completion of lap 25, 15 laps later, will be the completion of the second stage, and then 15 laps after that, the completion of lap 40, when the checkered flag waves, will be the completion of our third and final stage. Whoever's running in the top 10 at the completion of those 3 different laps will be getting bonus points, and that definitely seems to help out as far as the chase is concerned and the point standings overall. Not only are we having a Hershey's Cup Series main event race here at a debuting racetrack, making history in that way, but we also have history made with Lincoln getting their first ever Hershey's Cup Series pole, with Keith Batson starting on the inside of row number 1. Batson comes into today's race 19th overall in the point standings. We'll see what he can do, as he is still looking for his first career Hershey's Cup Series victory. How cool would it be if Lincoln could pick up not only their first pole in the same weekend as they pick up their first win and first career win for driver Keith Batson? That would be a lot of different things to be able to put in the history book right there in the span of 40 laps. Let's get the command to fire up the engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's the command to fire him up. He'll start off alongside of S Gallighan, who comes in today's race 10th in the point standings. And you can look down in the description below to see your official full starting lineup for this race, including the 7 non-charter drivers that made their way into today's event by finishing in the top 7 a couple of days ago, including the winner of that non-charter race, Tyler Deaver, in the number 96. Tyler Deaver, Elijah Gilbert, I'm trying to just think of these off the top of my head here. Daniel Gilbert, Stephen Pollard III, Cole Deaver is in the group. And I'm trying to remember who the other ones are. I don't want to go back and look, that'd be cheating. Ryan George and Dougie Shears, the other 2. And yes, I cheated. Down my score 4. So 40 laps of racing here today. The only difference there could be between this race and the Pizza Hut X Series race we saw yesterday was we may see more cautions, because I don't know if it's just this kind of mod or what, but we had quite a number of yellow flags in our non-charter race here a couple of days ago. They went pretty clean and green in the Pizza Hut X Series race here yesterday, so we'll have to see on which side of that caution spectrum this race seems to lean towards today. But here we go. Race number 2 of the season, Rio de Janeiro for the Hershey's Cup Series is green. S Gallighan got himself a good start there. Tries to get by for the lead on the high side, but Batson gets the better run into turn 1, and he will hang on to the top position, at least for the moment. Battle is on for second between Gallighan and the Dodge Dart of Benjamin Miles, who had a dismal finish last week and is 35th in points. You can bet he's trying to get himself a much better finish. Get himself up in the point standings. It's early on in the season. If he can get the good finishes, that it really helps out, as Gallighan got the wall there off that corner. Keeps it together. I don't know if that's giving him some damage or not. That's not good for Gallighan. And we are going to at least complete the first lap under green, and history made again. It's the first time that a Lincoln has led a lap here in the Hershey's Cup Series. Apparently that brush into the wall did not hurt Gallighan really, because he's about to try and challenge for the lead here. Drives it down deep into turn 1. Question is, can he make it stick? Still to the left rear, still to the left rear, now alongside, door to door, going down the back straightaway here, heading for 3. Gallighan may have the advantage on that bottom line. And he, whoa, gets a little square swirly there on that inside line. Has to give up ground, and Keith Batson will keep the top position. That's a ride and a half there for Sean Gallighan. And Batson will even get another lap. Let's drop back a little bit, take a look here at Johnny Gardner. Had himself a good qualifying position, right now running solidly in the 8th position. He came into today's race 16 points back from the points leader and our Daytona 500 winner last week, Anthony McCrury, but a solid start to the season for that discount tire Dodge, and looks like he's got some right side damage on that machine. So it looks like Gallighan wasn't the only one to slap the wall at some portion of the early stages of this race. Poteet, 8th in points, just up ahead there. 31 out of Tweenix Racing. Of course, the battle for the points in this stage. Right now, the last spot being held by 10th place L Alvarise. He's got a couple of Young Motorsports, actually all 3 of the Young Motorsports cars right behind him in 11th, 12th, and 13th. McIntyre, Young, and Bryant. They are 3 wide further back here. Let's follow this. That's Chris Dodd, Cole Baker, Tim Walch racing it up. Looks like they're all going to keep it together, get to double wide formation. Brand new paint scheme on the 03 of Charles Sandfer. See him there, the Racy Chevrolet. As a matter of fact, both he and his teammate Kyle Mathews running different looking cars here this week. See if we can find Mathews. There he is. Kyle Mathews running the Kings Island Chevrolet, but Kings Island celebrating 45 years this year. And so Kyle Mathews representing Kings Island's 45th anniversary. Back up to the front, we had a battle for the lead, and it's over. The lead has swapped hands. Sean Gallighan finally was able to get around Keith Batson, and now he is showing the way here in this race. Batson back to 2nd. Benjamin Miles now in 3rd. J Arndt there in 4th. And E Hartnett in 5th. So our top 5 is comprised of Ford, Lincoln, Dodge, Chevy, Toyota. How about that? And if you also want to count in the 6th place car of J Ciculli, then it'd be a Chevy Impala. So there's basically 6 different manufacturers in one way or another inside the top 6. This could be the manufacturer drive for diversity race right now. And the battle for 2nd, Benjamin Miles going to try and take that spot away from Keith Batson. And of course, Benjamin Miles wanting to get his season started off a lot better than he has been. Mentioned he comes into this race 35th in points. He'll move up to the runner-up spot. And last year was really dismal for him. I mean, 1 year in Season 2 when he had made the chase for the championship, the following year he was eligible to make the chase. He had a win before the chase began, but he found himself outside of the top 30 in the point standings, and that made him ineligible for that win to put him into the championship chase. So Benjamin Miles has his sights set on getting into the chase this season for sure. Right now looking very, very good. Trying to run down Sean Gallighan. Not really a whole lot of battles going on right now on the racetrack, so you can find a good one. Well, J Bryant working his way now up into the top 10. He just moved by L Alvarise, and as we're getting close to the completion of our first stage, this is big for J Bryant, making sure he gets himself some bonus points. He's not only going to take the 10th position away from L Alvarise, he's now going to take 9th place away from M Haas. So J Bryant, a man on a tear right now, is that starbound Ford Fusion looking very good. He was the only one of the Young Motorsports drivers to go to victory lane last season. That was in Arizona. J Bryant with 3 career wins in the Hershey's Cup Series. And now he's going to go for even more on Johnny Gardner. Boy, that 22 car is fast. By Gardner, that is for the 8th position. So J Bryant picking up some spots, and with every position he's picking up, that's 1 more bonus point he's going to get when we have the completion of lap 10 in the stage. He's going to go for more on D Poteet, and there's another driver starting to move his way up. This is the battle for the 4th position. E Hartnett now looking to the inside of J Arndt. Not going to be able to get the spot this time anyway. We had a battle on for second, too. Benjamin Miles and Keith Batson were battling, but that has settled out. J Bryant, though, continues to be the man on the move. He's now going to try and take the 7th position away from D Poteet down the front straightaway. Right now, as we're on lap 9, there'll be another lap around before we complete lap 10. Matt Haas currently sits in that 10th spot. He'll be the final driver in this stage to get bonus points, as Bryant will complete the pass on Poteet, move him to 7th. Matt Haas now moving by J Gardner. That's for 9th, so now Gardner falls down into the final spot that would get points, and now everybody's going to be gunning for that 26 car. And as this race continues to progress, whoa! Poteet into the wall! Poteet hard into the wall. He gave that outside retaining wall quite a shot. Keeps it straight though, keeps going. But as I was going to say, so far we've not had the yellow flag out, which is quite surprising to me. Not that we haven't had drivers hit the wall. Gallighan's got in the wall, Gardner's got in the wall. We just saw Poteet get the wall. That tells me these tires are starting to go away. The grip is nowhere to be found now. It's been very difficult for these drivers to find the grip, and it says to me that we may end up seeing for the first time here this weekend green flag pit stops at Rio de Janeiro. And please, oh please, don't let it be anything like the pit road entrance at Rockingham, UK. That's why we came here to Rio, to avoid that situation. Coming off through the final corner, Sean Gallighan will get himself 10 valuable bonus points as he will win stage number 1, completing lap number 10, and now we're into stage 2. Can Gallighan be able to win that one? Miles still in 2nd, Batson 3rd, Hartnett 4th, Arndt in 5th, Bryant, Ciculli, and then Poteet, Matt Haas, and J Gardner will all get points for this stage of the race. Top 3 have kind of broken away at the moment, Gallighan, Miles, and Batson. You look at the careers of these 3 drivers, oh boy, might have a battle for the lead. Oh, caution! Caution is out! Caution's out. This is a drag race back to the yellow flag. Gallighan will get it. And our first caution is out here, so that possibility of seeing green flag pit stops here at Rio might have just gone out the window. And we nearly ended up having our first stage end under the yellow flag. It did not, however, finished under green. So Gallighan will lead us for the first time under the caution. Let's see who might have been involved to bring out this yellow flag. Rookie Elijah Gilbert back here. Cody Llamas is back at the rear of the field. I don't know if he might have been involved. There's Tim Walsh, Stephen Paulo III, Dougie Shears. A number of these are the drivers that started at the rear because they made their way in via the non-charter race. Don't see anybody really with damage though. Oh, there's a little bit of right side damage on Tim Walsh, but oh, then there's some rear end damage. It might have been the 15. Tim Walsh might have been the reason for this caution coming out. We're about to find out if anybody's going to come to pit road. Not certain what's going on here. Gallighan's coming in, and Miles is staying out. Some drivers are coming in, some drivers are staying out. J Arndt is in, Poteet, J Gardner. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a number of those drivers that I just mentioned are drivers that have some of that right side damage from getting the wall. J Arndt, I don't think has damage though. This is, I think, a strategy stop for him. Saw Brandon Gonzales coming to pit lane. L Alvarise is in. Z Fitzwater is also on the pit lane, along with K Tellier, Joshua Michaels, Tim Walsh, Z Flickinger, G Sydnor, and Joseph Srigley all hitting the pit lane. So that turns the race lead over to Benjamin Miles. We'll see if he's going to be the leader when we restart, or if these drivers are staying out maybe for an extra lap and then they'll come to pit road. We'll find out. But for now, we're going to look back at a replay of what put us under the caution for the first time here today at Rio de Janeiro. This was a battle for the 14th position, and as the race went on, you could see the tire grip starting to go away. There you see Walsh got a little loose, Dylan Young gets loose, And I don't know if Dylan Young slides down into Walsh or if Walsh slides up into Young, or maybe it's a combination of both. But regardless, Tim Walsh's car is the one that snaps loose, goes down through the grass. And then he's trying to keep it straight. He comes back up the racetrack right in front of Dylan Young. And then goes up and hits the outside wall. I don't think anybody's going to hit him. Everybody diving to the inside line. I think everybody got through. So, fortunately for us, it was basically just a single car incident, but a tough break there for Tim Walsh. I mean, Tim Walsh has had a pretty dismal start to the season. He ended up finishing dead last in the Daytona 500 and now finds himself as the result of our first caution here 1 week later at Rio. Getting ready to go back green. It'll be on lap 16 of 40, and according to my calculations, that should give us 25 laps remaining in this race. And I believe, is it 50? No. For some reason I've lost track. 10 laps left in this stage. Benjamin Miles did not come to pit road, neither did Batson, Hartnett, Bryant, or Ciculli. They are your top 5, with Matt Haas, Levi McIntyre, Blaine Keys now up to 8th, Dylan Young 9th, and Nathan Hudson in 10th. Of the drivers that came to pit road, everybody has returned back to the racetrack. Nobody going behind the wall. Tim Walsh got his car repaired. Johnny Gardner we saw up here up in the top 10. Well, he's going to restart back in 41st. They spent a lot of time working on that car, as he apparently must have slapped the wall pretty hard. They had to do some extensive repairs on his machine, so he's starting at the rear of the field. As well as the green flag is back out here. Completion of lap 15 on to lap 16. Benjamin Miles showing the way. J Bryant to the inside line on Emmanuel Hartnett, and a very quick pass for the 3rd position. That might be the strongest car in the field right now in JT Bryant. And a little surprised to be seen him making these moves early. It looked before like his car was a much better long-run car, but apparently it can pick up ground on the short runs as well. He's going to go for 2nd place already on Keith Batson. Restarted in 4th, looking for 2nd. Now going to have to give way as his car looked like got a little tight there on that inside line. The question I have too is, what about these drivers that decided to stay out? We saw a number of drivers come down pit road. Sean Gallighan came down pit road. Garrett Sydnor, Joseph Srigley, Johnny Gardner. A number of them coming to the pit lane. And that obviously is going to mean they're going to be much better on fuel than all the rest of these drivers, as Bryant took 2nd from Batson. And here comes JT Bryant for the race lead off of Benjamin Miles at Rio de Janeiro. He's cleared for the spot. This could be JT Bryant's race to lose. That is a super strong Ford Fusion here today, no doubt about that. So JT trying to set his sights towards the completion of lap 25, so that way he can get himself 10 valuable bonus points towards the chase for the championship. Well, not just the chase, but the overall point standings. JT Bryant, I mean, looking good here today. Didn't look so good last week in the 500. Finished that race in 40th position, and that's where he consequentially finds himself in the standings coming into today's race. So certainly trying to get his season turned around, as is Benjamin Miles. Emmanuel Hartnett 34th in points. See him up in the top 5 as well. So we're starting to see where drivers that struggled last week in the 500 trying to get their season turned around quickly here in the 2nd race of the season. The battle may be on for 2nd. Benjamin Miles has it. Keith Batson wants it. Give Keith Batson credit. I mean, he didn't stay out in front for very long before having to relinquish the lead over to Sean Gallighan, but he has been able to at least keep his car up inside the top 3 for most of this event. We got a car coming to pit road. That was one of the Tweenix cars. I don't know if that was Poteet or McCloud, and that is James McCloud in the 51. And I think this is a scheduled stop for James McCloud, first full season as a chartered ride. Hurry up and get that pit stop done. He doesn't want to get himself trapped a lap down. The field's on the back straightaway right now. This is actually a pretty big racetrack, so there is actually some time to be able to get a pit stop done, get out, and still stay on the tail end of the lead lap. J Bryant going to lead them around out of turn number 4, and I still have a question mark of if these drivers can make it the full 40 laps on fuel, or are they going to have to come to pit road? If they have to come to pit road, let's jump back, and looks like McCloud's going to fall a lap down. Jump back, find the first car that came to pit lane. Right there, J Arndt, Zaxby Chevrolet, working his way by Cody Llamas. Not sure where Arndt is currently scored. 27th right now. J Arndt, if this thing goes green and if everybody can't make it on fuel, he could be the one in the best position right now to maybe pick up the victory. And J Arndt, so far in his career in the Hershey's Cup Series, has yet to have a trip to victory lane. So you can bet he is hoping, he is praying that we do not see that yellow flag come out at all. So that way these drivers will have to maybe at some point come to the pit lane. They'll be able to reap the rewards, those drivers that stayed out. There is Anthony McCrury in the 61, our Daytona 500 winner last week. Starting to work his way up here towards the front. New look on that car. He was sponsored by Dishonored all last season as well as in the 500, but of course Dishonored coming out with a second video game, so Dishonored 2 now the new look on his Seth Cole Baker Motorsports Ford Fusion. You'll also notice very carefully up on the driver part, the driver name of his, like right between the A pillar and the B pillar, on the left side, you'll see it right there. You see that little green spot right after his name? Well, we've got this season a brand new thing where the drivers, if they get a race win, they get a race win sticker up there. So new things going on here at NNSCRA, and that's just one of them. McCurry, kind of ironic, he's running behind K Mathews, the defending champion. Mathews and McCurry now the only two drivers to hold a historical precedence here in the Hershey's Cup Series as a champion and a Daytona 500 champion in the Hershey's Cup Series. These two are battling right now for the 8th position. Just up ahead, how about Brooke Allen battling right now with Blaine Keys, a former chaser last season. Brooke Allen coming off a 2nd place finish in the Great American Race Daytona 500. But, you know, I talked with Brooke earlier, and she said this is where the true task comes in, where we find out just how good we really are. As they're coming to pit road, that was Keith Batson that led that last lap last time by. These drivers now beginning their green flag pit stops. And as I said, I think this is going to play out into the hands of Mr. J Arndt. Brooke Allen said this is the true test. I mean, anybody can get a good finish at a super speedway. So if you can get it done at tracks like this, and J Arndt does indeed cycle around as the race leader. We are getting close to the completion of our 2nd stage as well. So J Arndt, if he can stay out a couple more laps, J Arndt would find himself the recipient of 10 bonus points here today in winning the 2nd stage. Kept silent for a minute there, was trying to listen to the engine of the 05. Trying to listen to see if he might be saving, but doesn't sound like it. So J Ardnt's able to stay out. He's the leader. Brandon Gonzales also staying out as Keith Batson extended stay on pit road for his Lincoln. Gonzales is in 2nd. G Sydnor right now in 3rd. And I believe J Bryant is 4th. No, actually I don't think he is. I think he might be a lap down. Z Fitzwater is actually in 4th. And D Poteet right now is in 5th place. Joshua Michaels there is 6th. 7th is Flickinger, who's actually battling with S Gallighan for that spot. T Walch is now up to the 9th position with L Alvarise in 10th. And these are all drivers who came to pit road under that caution, and they have reaped the rewards. Now with us being in the long green flag runs, L McIntire on pit road, and now K Mathews, Brooke Allen, who found themselves just moments ago in the top 10, they're about to maybe go a lap down to the race leader. Dylan Young now a lap down there in the Chicago Cubs Blackhawks Ford. And what a difference this race has taken. What a different turn and outlook this race has taken due to the fact of some drivers coming to pit road under the caution and some drivers deciding not to. Now the question is, can J Arndt and all those others, Gonzales, Sydnor, Fitzwater, Poteet, can they all make it the rest of the way on fuel? Or were they going to have to pit before this race is over? Down the front straightaway, and J Arndt will win the second stage of today's race. So 10 valuable bonus points for him. Garrett Sydnor will get 9 bonus points. He was second. Brandon Gonzales in third, so he'll get 8 bonus points. J Arndt doing a pretty good job of at least maintaining pace with the traffic around him, because we know that Mathews and Allen and Dylan Young, they have to have fresher rubber. But J Arndt able to, for the moment, keep Brooke Allen at bay and trying to reel in Kyle Mathews. So J Arndt for AS Racing. Right now, he and his teammate Garrett Sydnor both having a solid outing. They're running 1-2. Trying to give AS Racing a 1-2 finish. I don't know where their third entry is currently running. J Baskinger, who's currently scored in the 21st position, is Jake. And when we completed lap 25 to end our second stage, that puts us now into stage 3. The final 15 laps of this race. Can J Arndt save enough fuel to get himself to the finish? The good news for him is he's got Brooke Allen a lap down, Dylan Young a lap down before you get to second place Garrett Sydnor. Brandon Gonzales right behind him. This is the battle for the second position. And unless something drastically happens with J Arndt, going to take a little bit of doing for these two to reel in the race leader. Let's jump back up again to J Arndt, who still finds himself in a little bit of a cushion there. Kyle Mathews ahead, Brooke Allen, Dylan Young behind. Kyle Mathews currently the last car running on the lead lap. He's in the 31st position as things run right at the moment. 31 cars currently on the lead lap after we've had these pit stop cycles, and I believe that down to 11th place Joseph Srigley. Those are the drivers that have stayed out and had come to pit road under the first caution. Srigley might have been the last of those cars, so 11 drivers with a big question mark of can they make it the whole rest of this event on the fuel that is in their tanks. Not only is J Arndt here in traffic with a bit of a barrier between himself and second place, but second and third are actually losing a little bit of ground to him each and every lap. It was about 3.3 seconds back to Garrett Sydnor a few laps ago. It's now changed to about 3.8 seconds. Brooke Allen trying to get back on the tail end of the lead lap now, trying to get by J Arndt. It might be in J Arndt's best interest to let the three go, but Brooke Allen not able to keep alongside, at least for the moment. And this up here is going to get very interesting because Kyle Mathews moving by Ryan George. That is actually a battle for position. That is for 30th place. So Kyle Mathews and Ryan George trying to keep themselves ahead of the race leader, racing it up. Got some other drivers back here too, like the Daytona 500 winner Anthony McCrury, former champion. Another former champion Chris Dodd just ahead of him. Stephen Paul with the third there. Blaine Keys, 42. They're all trying to stay ahead of the race leader, who now is going to let both Brooke Allen and Dylan Young by. So pretty smart decision, I think, there by J Arndt, letting a couple of drivers back onto the lead lap that clearly have probably about 7 to 8 laps fresher Goodyears than he does. J Arndt the whole time still able to maintain his lead. He lost about half a second that time to Garrett Sydnor, who's still trying to run him down. Now they're going to battle up ahead of J Arndt. That's Dylan Young going to the inside of Brooke Allen. I believe that would be for the 31st position. Actually, it might be for 32nd. It is for 32nd. We'll hold on to the spot, at least for the moment. You know, it's kind of interesting, too. I mean, today is looking like it might be a bit of a point shaker in terms of drivers that came into today's race running really well in the point standings, not exactly having the best of runs currently, all because of that green flag pit stop cycle we saw take place. You got Anthony McCrury, comes in as the points leader, and right now he's currently running in the 28th position. Second in the points was J Gardner. He's a lap down in 37th. Third in points was Brooke Allen. She's just barely in the lead lap in 32nd place. Cody Llamas came in 4th in the standings. Right now he's scored in 24th. And Seth Cole came in 5th in points, and he didn't even make today's race. Then transfer via the non-charter qualifying race. So right now, it's looking like drivers that really could reap the rewards. One driver would be Joshua Michaels. He comes in today's race 6th in the point standings, albeit 27 points out, but he's running 6th place right now, en route for a top 10 finish. Another driver that also could reap some big benefits is S Gallighan, currently scored in the 8th position, came into today's race 10th in the standings. D Poteet, 4th right now on the running order. He came in today's race 8th in points, so it could be Michaels, Poteet, and Gallighan who are really going to jump up in the point standings because of this. And if J Arndt's able to close the deal here today and win this race, Arndt came into this race 16th in the point standings, so obviously he's going to get a good points day as well, and we could see him jump up into the top 10 in the point standings when we head into Las Vegas next week. Now J Arndt going to have to start to deal with traffic. Oh, wait a minute. J Arndt coming to pit road? Yes, he is. J Arndt is coming to pit road. They couldn't make it. He was about 7 laps short. Sydnor's in. Gonzales is in. So now we got to see, is Poteet going to stay out? Fitzwater right behind him. They are 4th and 5th, and they're coming to pit road. Michaels is in. T Walch. He's coming down. So is Gallighan and Flickinger. J Srigley, though, is going to stay out. Srigley was one of those drivers who came to pit road under that first and only caution, and now he is going to stay out. And we'll have to see if he can make it. Everybody else was about 7 laps short. Srigley, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it if those drivers couldn't. Another driver might have stayed out too. Looking to see, yes he did. Levi McIntire also stayed out along with Trent Dunham and Matt Haas. They all 3 stayed out an extra lap. Whoa! Srigley trying to get by Elijah Gilbert. Not able to make the move, and now it looks like he's going to bring his Pepsi Exalta Chevrolet to pit road. Trent Dunham is going to stay out. Matt Haas and Levi McIntire do as well, so Trent Dunham will now inherit the race lead with 6 laps to go. Now, can he make it on fuel? And look at how the top 10 again has changed up. It's Dunham, Haas battling for the spot, trying to get to the left rear. Almost hooked Trent Dunham. Haas in 2nd, McIntyre 3rd. Ciculli now is 4th. I think 5th is Cole Baker. 6th place is Benjamin Miles. 7th, Nathan Hudson. 8th, now J Arndt. 9th place, whoa, is Arndt got the wall. 9th place would be Jessica Shelton. And Cole Deaver all of a sudden is up here in the top 10. He just took the 10th position away from Charles Sandford. Cole Deaver started this race from dead last. He finished 7th in the non-charter race, which qualified him for 42nd place in this event. And all of a sudden, he's up in the top 10. Trent Dunham, former winner last season, former chaser last season, trying to close the deal here today. Matt Haas right behind him. Matt Haas, a 2-time winner last season in his rookie year. Trying to reel him in. Levi McIntire, he hasn't won since Las Vegas, the track we're going to next week, 2 years ago, back in season 2. He's right there in third, has an opportunity at this, but the question is about these drivers, can they make it on fuel? Because remember, those other drivers came to pit road and could not make it. They came to pit road with about 7 laps to go. These drivers came to pit road about maybe 6-7 laps after we went back green in that only caution flag. So it could be anywhere from 1 to 2 laps short. As Charles Sandfer, you see just there, he just made a pit stop. He was running at the time in the 11th position when he came to pit road. So these drivers here might not be able to make it. Trent Dunham going to try and hang on, though, and try and pick up Sega Motorsports' first win of the season. Dunham comes into today's race. If I can find him here in the point standings. 38th in points. So talk about a guy who really needs a good run today. He's going to stay out, and he will see the flagman showing him 3 fingers, indicating 3 laps left in today's race. Now looking to the inside on K Tellier. Matt Haas still right there. Levi McIntire still right there, but now Dunham's going to clear K Tellier and put a lap machine between himself and Haas. Now Haas going to forge his way to the inside. Says, no sir, I'm still going to keep that Sega Chevrolet in my sights. Matt Haas, let's see where he came in today's race in the point standings. He was 28th in points. And Levi McIntire came into today's race 14th in points. So right now, McIntire of the top 3 running the highest in the point standings. 2 laps to go here at Rio de Janeiro. Can Trent Dunham make it? What an interesting shape this race has taken on. First time this weekend we've seen what green flag pit stops can do in the shuffling and cycling of this field. And as an end result, right now it's looking like it may be pointing Trent Dunham to victory lane, but now they're battling up ahead of him. This is actually for position between Michaels and Sandfer. They are currently right now battling for the 36th position. And Trent Dunham, while he doesn't want to get up there and race it up with these guys, he doesn't also want to have Matt Haas get to his back bumper. One more time around. White flag displayed this time. Can Trent Dunham close the deal? He thought about going to the inside of Michaels. Doesn't have enough of a run, it seems. He'll stick in line. Got a battle maybe potentially going on here for the 3rd position. Joshua Ciculli to the inside of Levi McIntire. He's going to pull alongside down this straightaway. So McIntire, any hopes he had of trying to get 2nd place might be up in smoke. He's just trying to hang on for 3rd place now against Joshua Ciculli's Chevy Impala. And McIntire will get the spot. Whoa, look at Tellier back there slipping and sliding. Matt Haas, one last try, drives it deep into 3 and 4. Cannot get alongside. Trent Dunham is going to pick up his first win of the season here today at Rio de Janeiro for Sega Motorsports. Trent Dunham, I believe this is his 3rd career Hershey's Cup Series victory. He had a win back in season 1. A win last season, which got him into the chase. And now, what a great way to kind of counter a dismal finish last week at Daytona. Came in today's race 38th in points. He will leave much better than that here today at Rio with his win at Emerson Fittipaldi Speedway. Matt Haas will get 2nd, Levi McIntire 3rd. And the rest of the drivers to get bonus points here for the completion of segment 3. Ciculli in 4th, Nathan Hudson in 5th. Then Cole Baker, Benjamin Miles, Jessica Shelton, Cole Deaver, and Daniel Gilbert, a couple of the non-charter boys, finishing in the top 10 there. Deaver, give that guy the Iron Man award here today, or the Picking Up Places award. Started 42nd, finishes the day out in the 9th position. J Arndt, we saw him en route to what looked like it was going to be the win for him, but he had to make a late pit stop. He'll have to settle for 12th behind K Llamas' 11th position. Randy Gonzales, J Baskinger, and Stephen Pollard III will finish in the top 15. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, Anthony McCrury, Daytona 500 winner, managed to battle back for a 20th place finish. As you look on further down, a number of drivers that were really strong early on, like J Bryant and Emmanuel Hartnett, they'll finish 25th and 26th. We had 37 cars finish on the lead lap. How about Sean Gallighan? He was another driver that was up there early on. Finishes 35th place there in that 44 car. And then we had 4 drivers finish laps down. K Tellier in 38th, J Gardner 39th, Joseph Srigley in 40th, and L McIntire in 41st. And 1 driver actually retired from this race due to a mechanical problem. Dougie Shears out of the race due to a camshaft issue. Tough break for him in his first start of the season in the main event race of Season 4. But that is going to do it. Trent Dunham wins today's race here at Rio de Janeiro. As I'm looking right now, I'm not exactly certain who the points leader is going to be heading into next week, because a lot of the candidates didn't finish so well in the closing stages. The highest finisher of the drivers that came into this race as far as the point standings was Levi McIntyre. He came into today's race in the 14th position in points, but I don't think he gained enough points to maybe take the points lead away. It'll be interesting. K Llamas also came into today's race pretty well in points, 4th in the stands, and he finished in 11th. So maybe it's Cody who will lead us into Las Vegas as the points leader of the standings. We'll have to find out, though, at the same time you guys do. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today's race here from Rio. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown you your full finish results. Here are your point standings. You're seeing who the points leader is. I'm not, so yeah, I'll find out probably after. But anyway, we will see you guys next week when we have our Hershey's non-charter race, Pizza Hut X Series, and Hershey's Cup Series main event races at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That should be an interesting one as well. They go 3 wide, they go 4 wide, and they keep it together. Some doggone good racing. Can't wait for that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will see you guys next time as you've been watching a production of the SRA Offline Racing at its best. So long from Rio de Janeiro.